Hey, how's life in Algeria these days? I've heard a lot has been happening there recently. Hi. Yes, life in Algeria has seen its fair share of changes and developments in recent years. It's quite a multifaceted topic, so where would you like to start? Well, let's begin with the political landscape. I remember hearing about protests and political turmoil a few years back. What's the current situation? You're right. There have been significant political developments. The Hirak movement, which started in 2019, brought about a wave of protests that eventually led to the resignation of President Abdelaziz Bouteflika and a push for political reform. Since then, Algeria has witnessed some progress in terms of political change. Abdelmejid Tebboune was elected president in late 2019, and he has been working on implementing a new constitution aimed at addressing some of the protesters' demands. The constitution was approved in a referendum in November 2020, and it introduced various reforms, including term limits for the president and increased powers for the parliament. That's quite a significant shift in the political landscape. Have these changes had any noticeable impact on the day-to-day lives of Algerians? Yes, they have. While the political changes are significant, their impact on daily life varies across different aspects. On one hand, there's a sense of hope and optimism among many Algerians, especially the youth, who were a driving force behind the protests. They believe that these political changes are a step toward a more transparent and accountable government. On the other hand, there are also challenges, including the economic situation, which has been a concern for a while. The economy. I remember hearing about economic challenges in Algeria in the past. How's the economic situation now, especially in light of the COVID-19 pandemic? The economic situation in Algeria remains a complex issue. The country heavily relies on its oil and gas exports, and the drop in global oil prices, compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic, has had a significant impact on its economy. The government has been working on diversifying the economy by investing in other sectors, such as agriculture, manufacturing, and renewable energy. However, these efforts take time to yield results, and there are still challenges related to unemployment and the cost of living. COVID-19 also put additional strain on the healthcare system and caused economic disruptions. It's tough to hear that the economic challenges are persisting, especially with the pandemic's added pressure. How has the government been addressing these economic issues? The government has been implementing a series of economic reforms to address the challenges. One of the key initiatives is the Economic Growth Recovery Plan, which includes measures to reduce dependence on hydrocarbon revenues, promote private sector development, and enhance economic diversification. They have also been working on improving the investment climate to attract foreign investment and boost domestic production. However, these reforms come with their own set of challenges, such as resistance to change and the need to ensure that they benefit all segments of the population. It's good to hear that there's a plan in place to address economic challenges. What about social issues? How has life changed in terms of education, healthcare, and social services? Education and healthcare have always been important issues in Algeria, and there have been ongoing efforts to improve these sectors. The government has allocated significant resources to enhance the quality of education and healthcare services. For instance, they've invested in building new schools and healthcare facilities, as well as upgrading existing ones. There's also been a focus on expanding access to education, especially at the university level, to provide more opportunities for the youth. Education and healthcare have always been important issues in Algeria, and there have been ongoing efforts to improve these sectors. The government has allocated significant resources to enhance the quality of education and healthcare services. For instance, they've invested in building new schools and healthcare facilities, as well as upgrading existing ones. There's also been a focus on expanding access to education, especially at the university level, to provide more opportunities for the youth. Algerian society and culture have always been diverse and dynamic, reflecting the country's rich history and heritage. One noticeable shift has been the increased visibility of cultural expressions and artistic endeavors. There's been a growing interest in promoting and celebrating Algerian culture through various forms of art, including music, literature, and cinema. Additionally, there's a strong sense of national identity and pride, which has been fostered by the Hirak movement and the desire for a more inclusive and just society. That's fascinating to hear how culture and identity have played a role in recent developments. What about international relations? How has Algeria been positioning itself on the global stage? Algeria has traditionally maintained a policy of non-alignment and neutrality in international affairs. It has played a significant role in regional diplomacy, particularly in relation to the conflicts in North Africa and the Sahel region. Algeria has been involved in mediation efforts in Libya and Mali, among others, and has been advocating for peaceful resolutions to these conflicts. It also continues to be an important partner in the fight against terrorism and extremism in the region. Overall, Algeria remains committed to a foreign policy based on principles of sovereignty, self-determination, and non-interference. It's clear that Algeria has a multifaceted role in the region. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share about life in Algeria today? Well, it's important to note that Algeria is a country with a complex and diverse reality. While there have been positive changes and progress in various areas, challenges still exist. The Algerian people are resilient and hopeful for a better future. The country is at a critical juncture in its history, and the world is watching to see how it continues to evolve. The key is for the government and the people to work together to address the challenges and build a more prosperous and inclusive Algeria. Thank you for sharing such a comprehensive overview of life in Algeria today. It's evident that there's a lot happening in the country, and I appreciate your insights into the political, economic, and social dynamics. Let's hope for a brighter future for Algeria and its people.